Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 186 on June 10th, 2020. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
G.I. Joe!
And Jimmy Trammell.
How's it going, guys?
To quote G.I. Jose, you know enough. I don't know. Hey, have you seen those ones?
No, I haven't heard that one.
It was a recurring Family Guy thing. G.I. Jose, the real Mexican hero. He's awesome. Look it up when you get a chance. What else is going on, guys?
This is the last week of school, which
Oh.
means after this week, summer starts, and I get to be a normal tech guy.
All right. I say my daughter had her last day of school yesterday, so she's officially on the summer spectrum, I guess. I don't know what to call it. What that shift from school to nothing, because it's summer. I don't know what to call it, but yes,
it's just school's out.
But I mean, you're in your school mindset, and then you shift onto something else that's not the school mindset because it's summer. So yeah.
So it's for kids. It's the yay! I can now not have to think about anything beyond what's for lunch later today, and that's just a wonderful thing for lots of kids. And for adults, it's okay, now what are we going to do with the kids to keep them busy, or send them over to a friend's house or something like that? Because
my kids are now 14, so whatever, you can fend for yourself.
Yeah.
In some countries, they are considered adults. So,
right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's correct. And but now we have a situation where everybody's stuck where they are for the most part. Maybe you can go out and do some fun things, but this is going to be a weird summer. What's going to be really weird is I'm going to be going to work a lot more, and it will be, again, because normally during the summer there's nobody there. It's going to be like normal. I mean,
up here, everything's open. Everything has been for a long time, and the next state over was never shut down. So,
like you can go to the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm surrounded by lakes, and it's packed with boats, like you would expect. So, yeah, and I mean, even during the height of the lockdown, there's still people everywhere. I'm like, whatever.
Well, if they keep to their boats, there's no way.
No. I mean, just people like wandering around on their bikes and walking up and down the street, and
that's very interesting.
Yeah, people are starting to get out. Not even I have noticed. I think last maybe time or two that I went to the grocery store, I noticed maybe about a third of the people inside the grocery store were not wearing masks.
Oh, I never was.
Right. So people are starting to get out. They're starting to take off their masks, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully we don't revert back to having another outbreak, but hopefully we kind of get back to normal is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. What I'm hoping for is that we've got something good to talk about this week.
Oh, we don't have anything good to talk about. For example, Toshiba and Insignia, they make these new TVs. They make a lot of TVs, a lot of really cheap ones. And they've released more. It's like people want more of these. And these ones, normally they do Roku ones, Roku, maybe some Android ones. Now they're releasing Fire TV versions. What's wrong with this? Some of these TVs are super cheap. I mean, they start at like, I don't know, less than $200 for some of these things. I mean, this is them coming out with more of those options available for everybody out there, including everything down to a 24-inch TV with 720p. I mean, goodness sakes, who in the world would buy that? All the way up to the 4K 55-inch models.
Okay, so number one, Toshiba makes good TVs. They always have. They are priced like a normal, good brand, which is why they've been losing out to brands like TCL and Hisense, which are still good TVs, but marketed or priced as, low end tier. But Insignia, that's Best Buy's home, white label brand. They've always, Insignia has always had Fire TV. They were one of the few that jumped on the Fire TV bandwagon, which is why I laughed when we first talked about it a couple of years ago, because if you want a Fire TV, you got to buy an Insignia. No, thank you. But I mean, Toshiba also made, different options for different models. So they've done Fire TV and Android TV in the past. This is just they're announcing that, hey, their new models are out.
Right.
With the newest, updated, shiniest version of Fire TV. So if you're looking for a new Fire TV built-in smart TV
for the cheap,
then I don't stay away from the Insignia. But if you want a decent one at a reasonable price, Toshiba, go look at the Toshibas.
Looking at the prices of TVs nowadays, it's still cheap.
Yeah. I was just saying, but the Toshiba is going to be more expensive than your Roku or your TCL or your Hisense. So,
and of course,
thanks, W. Scottish one.
And of course, having the built-in Fire TV, interesting to look at the remote. They've got those app function buttons down at the bottom, and the one in the first position, of course, is Prime Video.
Of course.
Why?
So, the biggest question is, why is PS View on there? Isn't that going away?
It's already gone. Well, I mean, this remote has been out forever. Why does my Roku remote have an RDO button?
I know, but this is one that's coming out, and if this is the
this isn't necessarily the new remote. This is a Fire TV remote.
Oh, interesting. I'm reading up about this. It looks like it's got support for some pretty high-end codecs, including AV1 support, which is the new standard that's going to be the super high compression. And it's also this the one that's supposed to compete with the H.265 HEVC support. And it's also got Miracast support built into these monitors, which is actually pretty awesome. It's a pretty open standard for sending your video over the air.
So I take it back. Apparently that remote is the remote that's coming with this TV, because it's the same remote that was previously included with the TCL and Nebula Fire TV edition soundbars. So they're basically given an existing old remote and said, here, just use this.
It saves money on everything.
But you're gonna come out. I mean, it's just as bad as when when I bought my Roku Ultra, RDO had been gone forever, and it still had an RDO button on it because they had already been manufactured. But yeah. So I mean, if you're in the mood or you're looking for a Fire TV, built-in smart TV, then there's some new models out there.
Okay, thinking of the remote thing for just a second, why haven't they all just gone to, hey, here's 4 colors, red, blue, green, yellow, and you go to the thing and it says, yo, you want to watch that show? It's on the red button.
It's because companies paid them. They
Ah,
bought that. That's advertisement. That's product placement. They said, hey, we'll give you either a deal on something or we'll give you this money to buy that button.
No, so I wonder if PSU, they probably like earned a certain number of years of having access to.
Well,
So
and I
maybe
mean,
they are
now
like under contract. They
they're
can't
stuck.
remove it.
But then also, you got to remember, they manufactured all these remotes.
I know.
They're not, I mean, if they're already assembled and packaged, they're not going to open them up to change out the button. They're just going to say, screw it.
Yeah, that's okay. Hey, you know what? There's new buttons on the latest TLC TVs as well. These buttons are more related to Android because these TVs by TCL are new Android TV based TVs. These models are starting at $130. Looks like they're coming out with two of them, one for 32 inches at 720p and the 40 inch for 108 for a 1080p model. These little guys are your full-fledged Android built-in TVs from TCL, and this is their first foray into Android TV. Am I correct?
I think so, because they have done Fire TV stuff in the past,
Right.
like the sound
And the
bars, and I mean they're best known for the Roku.
Right.
So I believe this is their first go round with Android, and I'm curious how this is going to work, because if you remember just a few weeks ago we talked about how Google threw down the gauntlet and said if you want to be fully certified Android TV on your device, you can't be agnostic. You have to be all in on Android, and you can't be also doing Roku and Fire TV. So I don't know how this is going to work. Are they not going to have the Play Store?
That is an excellent question. It's possible. I would be
Which
either that or
worries me,
either that or TCL is abandoning all the other platforms. That's
I
a possibility too.
doubt it, because the Roku has brought them tons of money and tons of people that have said, well, I need a Roku and I need a TV. I'll just get this one. Yeah, I'm curious how this works. I was super excited when I saw this because I'm always happy to see Android TV in more places. And if I was going to get a new TV, I've been looking and leaning more towards, because I've got my Roku Ultra. I don't need Roku built in. I want my Roku Ultra. So I've been looking for a TV that, if it has to be a smart TV, something that is not Roku, I would like a TCL TV because I think they look good. They're cheap. And if I could get one, in a 60 or a 65 inch with Android TV on it, I would probably go that way.
So Roku or whoever, Fire TV or Android TV, needs to invent the process where, hey, you have a Roku built into your TV. Awesome. You use it. It's great. It starts getting old, whatever. There should be a built-in handoff process from Roku to Roku. So you plug in your brand new Roku Ultra 5, whatever, and it plugs and it says, and it is able to talk to the Roku inside the thing and say, oh, okay, you're Roku, I'm Roku. Yes, I'm the TV, and you're obviously newer. I'm going to go ahead and basically let you run things, but you can see the inputs and all that through this. That would be a cool integration that somebody could probably figure out how to do.
They already have that integration. It's called push input, and then you switch to the other input, and it looks exactly like you're controlling it from the screen.
Yeah. But it'd be nice.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I mean, on the bright side, Roku does automatically set up your new one with the stuff that you already have set up on your old one because of your account. If only it would keep track of the placement of stuff, because that's the thing that drives me crazy. Yes, when I set up a new Roku, all of my stuff ends up there, but it all ends up in the wrong place, and I have to spend like half a day moving stuff around. Because I want all of mine to be exactly the same so that I don't have to think about it. I know I exit and then I can go over, without paying attention to TV. I can navigate to the thing because it's where I want it.
So
But
the other thing is you brought up the fact that Google's requiring that you only that you be pure to Google, that you marry them
mhm.
essentially. You can't be with anybody else. I wonder if they reneged on that. I would like to find an update to that story. I'm gonna have to see if we can find
Yeah,
that
we
story.
should look into that. And that was one of those things that I can see, hey, you know, you want to throw your weight around, you can. It's a risky move because you might scare away people that would otherwise work with you. But I understand why they did it is because they wanted to basically show that, hey, we mean business, and
Mhm.
you know we believe that they need to be taken seriously. So um yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find that out. That's okay. We will look into that, and if we have something interesting to say, we'll say it. But in the meantime, NVIDIA's been doing their thing with their GeForce Now for a while now, and we started commenting when various games were disappearing off the platform. A lot more games have disappeared since we last spoke about it because it really wasn't that big of news anymore.
Hmm.
It looked like a lot of different companies were pulling a bit from it. But GeForce Now is now working to integrate fully into newer, Android boxes with heavy support for specific models. It looks like they're going to be a GeForce Now version for select devices that will be highly integrated and have the high, basically be well vetted for these devices to give you the best experience.
um so then this makes me wonder, I mean, this was the main thing that Nvidia had to get you to buy their Android TV was, hey, you get GeForce Now. um I understand that, I mean, it's a no-brainer to put it on other Android TV because it's already written for Android TV. There's no
Mm-hmm.
reason you shouldn't be able to make it work on all the other ones. Um, I'm curious if it will run on my TiVo stream because
The minimum
that's just an Android TV, but I don't know if it's got the horsepower.
the minimum
Um,
specs is OpenGL ES 3.2, which is nothing special. 2 gigabytes of RAM and Android 5. I mean,
oh
we're at
no,
Android,
exactly. But I'm saying I don't
so
know. I mean, yes, minimum specs are one thing.
right.
Running good is another thing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's why I said I wonder if it will run good
It's a
on
good
my
question.
little dongle. Uh, I'll try it once this is available.
Yeah, that sounds
Say
good.
try and play was I don't even know what's available on GeForce Now on Android TV. So
Some Tekken and Street Fighter games. Some
I
Samurai Showdown was on there for a while.
yeah.
There's a couple other, I guess, some driving games, some platforming games. It's not so bad. Hey, you know what hasn't been working well on the TiVo dongle? Apparently lots of things, like getting Ghost TV, which is where you can where getting randomly your machine you would power down and power back up, or black screen where you would not be able to see anything on the screen. These are little bugs that have been coming out for the TiVo Stream 4K, and apparently an update has come out to fix those
Yep.
things.
Yep, and that's one thing I talked about when I first got mine. There was little buggy things that were, you know, clearly missed or just didn't, they didn't meet the deadline. Um like there was a couple times where I couldn't tell if it was stuck or if it was off, or it was blank screen and I'd have to reboot it. Um, but they are, this will be the second big update because
Mm.
well, a couple days after I got mine, or no, immediately when I first got mine, there was already a big update that it had to download, and then there was another one shortly after. So, I mean, it's a brand new product. You expect this kind of stuff, and uh, they are kicking off their beta test program. So I've already been invited. So
Excellent.
It kind of helps that I was already a TiVo beta tester back in the day,
Ah,
so I already had that account. And then I got the invite, and then they put out a survey, and I was not super nice on the survey. I was very honest, and there was a thing at the end saying, "Hey, would you like to be a beta tester?" There was a link for anybody else out there that it has one and they want to beta test. There's a link out there.
very cool.
But yeah, so it sounds like they're actually very interested in, number one, what problems are you having? Number two, what features are missing, and or would you like to see added?
Right.
And that survey went very in depth. It took like an hour to complete. But I think it's a good sign. It shows their commitment to the project or product.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Hey, in more Android TV news, I'm seeing a theme here. It looks like there's a new upgrade coming to the Android TV. This has got a UI update. This is going to take the YouTube TV channel guide and integrate that directly into the Android TV interface. This means that you will be able to get right into your YouTube TV channel guide directly from when you launch up your Android TV, and you will be able to see all the various live channels that are available to you there. This is a YouTube TV specific feature, although I hope that they open this up so it works with other platforms as well.
Well, and I've always been surprised that this wasn't already there, because I mean, it's the same freaking company,
right?
Get your divisions together and figure this out. The whole point of the TiVo stream is it's got the Sling TV integration. And that was one thing I had complained about, that it's great if you subscribe to Sling TV. If you don't, it doesn't have the other. And that was one of the things in the survey. They said, hey, is it a negative that there isn't, they specified YouTube TV by name? And I said, absolutely. And so, would you expect to see that soon? Yeah. So, yeah, good on them for Android TV for making that. I mean, because
I'm excited to see this. I want to see everybody else integrates the various platforms with themselves. I mean, I'm sure the Apple integration is like super deep, and I'm sure Amazon has at least a decent amount of Prime integrated directly into their Fire TV interface, although I don't know. But yeah, this should be the Android TV way of doing it before gets you a bar of everything. You got a what's hot on each one of the various things. But having something fully, at least an option to have a fully integrated, you boot up, you see what's live on your service. That makes a lot of sense. So,
sure.
Hey, so Clyde, I got some news you will be very happy about.
Okay. I'm scared.
CES. You like CES, right?
What is CES?
It's the computer.
Oh, that's that big cesspool where every year I go and I get horribly sick and I almost die.
Exactly. Hey, guess what? We have a pandemic, and they're still having CES this year.
They had it last year. It just wasn't declared pandemic yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. But they have announced that they are going ahead with the live real CES next year in January, likely. This is them they are planning to go ahead and make it happen. There's no details about exactly how they're going to mitigate for it, other than they think they can do it by keeping social distancing, by widening aisles, and I have no idea if that's actually going to work.
If you've ever been to CES, you will know that social distancing is not even a remote possibility.
Social distancing is, hey, stop touching me.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that people will have to. It's not something you can enforce. It's not something you can naturally coerce. It's something that people have to do on their own. It comes down to if you're worried about it, if you're worried about getting sick at CES, then don't go. Me, I don't care. So I'll be there. And I get sick every year. I mean, this year I'm pretty sure that I probably have the antibodies now because I was so sick when I got back. I thought I was gonna die. And it's so, but
Yeah, well, if you had it, that's great. We don't know if that means you'd be immune to it again, so you'll probably just get sick again if you go.
whatever.
if you got if you're around people, you'll just get sick again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're gonna have to get to a point where if the people are adults and they can, take their own risks if they want to, and there'll be plenty of people who decide not to go because of the event. So hey, this might be like the CES to go to, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Yep. So, we'll see. That's one of those things. They got to get that figured out because registration is in August. So they've got about a month to figure that out.
Yes, they do.
And if they don't, Vegas is in trouble.
Oh no!
I mean, with everything else that's been canceled so far,
right?
To then lose CES next year, Vegas is probably going to be on the verge of bankruptcy.
I have no idea.
Well, but you can look on the bright side. You can probably get Raiders tickets for pretty cheap.
If you can go, they won't let you go. Remember last week we discussed all those various virtual ways to cheer and boo the crowd. That's as close as you might get for a little while.
Probably so.
That's okay. Hey, if you're stuck at home and you've got a Chromebook and you've been feeling like you just haven't had the chance to kill some demons, if you've recently purchased that Chromebook, you might have the ability to do that for free. There's various games that are coming out available for Chromebooks, and Google has a perks page which you can go to and get some games off there. And right now, a couple of games are free, including Doom 1 and Doom 2. Also, a couple of other games like what was that? The Elder Scrolls Legends and Fallout Shelter are also available as free games available to you for your Chromebook.
Congratulations, or if you're an owner of a Chromebook, congratulations, it's now capable of playing games from over 20 years ago.
Exactly. That's not a bad thing. Those are good games.
Was that 1990?
Like 93
or something?
93
or something? Yeah.
Okay. It was 3. It's 92, 93, I'm pretty certain. We know the Chromebooks aren't powerful. We know that this is probably pushing the limit on them, right?
I mean, the Chromebook is just basically a laptop-shaped browser.
Yeah, and that's exactly what.
But I mean, which is why people go, "Ooh, you got me a laptop." Oh, it's a Chromebook. I mean, if all you need is a browser,
yeah,
that's fine. Well, I tried that. I bought a Chromebook because I said all I need is a browser, and I quickly went, "I can't use this thing."
You need more. You need more than a browser.
Well, and the thing is, even on my Dell laptop, all I ever use it for is the browser and the calculator.
Right.
But still, that Chromebook drove me crazy. And yeah.
But you got to keep in mind, for guys like us, we view it that way, right? But, 80-90% of the population out there, Chromebook is about all they need. Right.
Any non-techy user, a Chromebook is a great first computer. Any education market where you want to limit them to very specific things, it's also a great computer. Mm-hmm. That's why they do well, because I need a cheap computer. Here's a $150 Chromebook. That was cheap. Or I need a cheap computer for school. Here's a Chromebook that's limited to the very specific things the school wants you to do. That's perfect. That's exactly what they're for. Yep. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
But hey, now those kids can go and get, although I don't think the school kids can go get a copy of Doom. the scourge of when we were in 1990s
Okay,
of kids playing
wait,
Doom at school.
correct
Come
me
on.
if I'm wrong, but couldn't you already play Doom on like graphing calculators?
Yes, you can play Doom on a TI-83 or something like
So,
that. Yes,
so
there is a
those
version of
graphing
Doom for that.
calculators are more powerful than the
Oh.
previous Chromebooks?
First of all, no, they're not. If you've played it, it is so bad. And there's I mean, there's only one bad guy, there's only one gun, and it's really not a very good
Right.
Doom game. So, but I was just curious. There's those web-based, play through on the web, DOSBox emulators. I wonder if you can play Doom through that already. I don't know. I should find that out. Try it
But
on the Chromebook.
the calculator wins because if can you spell boobs by turning your Chromebook upside down?
I'm pretty certain you can actually. And I'm pretty certain
But
you
it's
can.
much smaller.
And
Everybody wants the bigger boobs.
I'm pretty certain you can put real boobs on a Chromebook. Because... Moving on. Hey everybody, Facebook is now letting you export all your media from the Facebook to Google Photos. This is a feature which allows you to take all those videos and photos that you've been putting in your Facebook feed and being able to export it directly to Google's cloud service with the free unlimited storage. This is actually a pretty cool idea. This is using an open standard that they've created, and it's part. This has been basically put in to try to reduce the idea of some kind of antitrust laws being passed. But it doesn't mean that it makes it easier for you to take your photos from one platform to another, and now you can do it from Facebook to Google.
Okay.
Although I think when you upload pictures to Facebook, don't they decrease the resolution and compress it heavily anyway? So you probably wouldn't want to.
But there may be things that you uploaded there that you don't have anywhere else. Like if you took it on a phone that you no longer have that wasn't being backed up. So this allows you to at least get it out of there.
Google also does the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, this would be good to, like what Matt is saying, right? To be able to transfer from one platform to another, right?
Absolutely.
But if you're caring about fidelity of those photos, not such a good option.
You know what this is great for? It's the pictures of you that other people post. They won't be in you won't have them in your Google. So this is the only way you can get them over there. You don't really care about the fidelity in that scenario. You just want the memory.
Sure.
But yeah.
Google also does the same thing. Any video you upload to the free version gets compressed to 1080p and their own compression level.
It's hardly noticeable.
And it's hardly noticeable. And oh darn, they compress your still images to 16 megapixels.
Yeah,
if you're a real camera head, that must piss you off. But for me, that's fine.
Which is fine because like when I've found like when I do a lot of forum stuff, if I post a picture directly, the picture is like this big.
It's too big. Like crap, I gotta make this smaller.
I always forget how big they are. Because I use Imager, I always have to go to the large thumbnail, which gives you the normal picture size. Because if I go real size, it's like bigger than my 22-inch monitor. Yeah, 22-inch monitor or 27 or whatever that is. Yeah. Doesn't even fit on that.
These cheap phones with 16 megapixel pictures.
Well, I've got that 1440 resolution and how many gigapixels? I don't know. When are we gonna get to gigapixels?
I think we're almost there.
Or yotta pixels or zeta pixels.
I technically it's 1,000 megapixels would be a gigapixel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a 108 megapixel camera.
Yeah.
So
and then 1,000 gigs is a yotta.
Right.
And then it's a zeta, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you are correct.
Yeah.
Does it go so the powers of 2 goes different when you're talking about pixels?
The powers of 10.
No, powers of 10. Like, we're talking byte size. So like 1,000
Powers-
megabytes is a
yeah.
gigabyte, and
So
1,000
it's not
gigabytes
binary.
is
So
a
the-
terabyte.
Gigs
So
a tick.
pixels are not binary.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
But the number of pixels is what they count when they do megapixels. It's millions of pixels they count.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Summer of Games done quick. Is that whole shindig where a bunch of nerds get together and show you how to play those games super fast, and they're awful fun because maybe you have some nostalgia for an old game that you used to play, and take you a couple weekends to play off of rental, and they get through it in like 40 minutes. It usually happens in a very large room, in some hotel somewhere, with a whole bunch of people get together. And this year, of course, they're not going to be. They're going to be doing the whole thing online. I believe they did this the online version for one of the events they did in March as well. But the official Summer Games done quick this year will be going from August 16th to the 23rd. With support for Doctors Without Borders, at which point they will be doing their entire thing online virtually. I enjoy this show. I really like going back and watching, especially the games that I've actually played or remember as a child. Or actually, they have a whole section called like bad games, like really horrible games being played. And there are some crap games out there, and it's fun because they have a good time talking about hey, let's see how horrible these games are. It's like movie party for video games.
That sounds terrible.
It's hilarious. All right. Hey, Apple has patented a new idea. The idea of taking a selfie with friends virtually. That's right. Because of our current situation, Apple has figured out a way to use the ability that they have to figure out where your background is, which they normally use to take the time to, blur that background to give you that great bokeh effect that everybody thinks is awesome that I could care less about.
I think it's ridiculous, but yes. Okay, carry
they
on.
take that technology to figure that out in order to allow you to have other people use that exact same feature to get themselves so they can cut their portraits out. And then you can all separately together get their pictures together and then combine them in a selfie with friends virtually.
Okay.
What do you think of this, guys?
Number one, the last generation of LG phones already had this feature. It would let you take multiple pictures and then it would composite them together and make a selfie out of multiple people. We played with it at CES 2 years ago. So I would say this is typical Apple saying, hey, that thing that people have been doing for years, we just invented it because this patent says so.
Oh, I think both of those are crazy. I mean, isn't this just called a screenshot?
I agree.
Are we doing
this idea is stupid on so many levels. The fact that you don't get a group selfie if you're not in a group.
I mean, there's 3 of us on my screen right now. If I do a screenshot, isn't that the same thing?
Yeah. But this Apple thing will take those 3 screenshots and put them in so that it looks like we're in the same room.
There's some cool things they could do, like making sure the color balances is correct to make sure everybody, has decent, so it doesn't look like you're posting in horrible, purple version of me and, yellow version of you and red version of Jimmy there. So, it could be good and it could be amazing. And I don't know, it does seem a little gimmicky, but it's a new thing. It's coming out. Get ready for virtual.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to put this up there as groundbreaking as being able to put Santa beards on people's faces. Remember when that was like brand new? Giving you cat ears and
what was that?
like Facebook
1999.
No,
I know.
This last it's since smartphones using social media, they had the apps that would auto do it.
Instagram when it was the filters, yeah.
But
they were popular for a while.
Yeah, I mean, because you still see that all the time. So
What was the name of the other company other than
Snapchat?
Instagram? Snapchat. They're still around, right?
I don't know. I guess
Well,
that's one of those platforms I seriously hope my daughters aren't on, and I'm also afraid to ask them because I don't want to know the answer. I would rather believe that they're not. Yes.
yeah, I agree. Hey, so there's a new service coming out called What If I? What if I tell you about it? What if I is a kind of the idea of a choose your own adventures television show, kind of like what you saw with the Black Mirror and
Okay.
and the Minecraft story mode. It's well integrated into to the phone interface, so in some ways it's like Quibi, but better apparently. I don't know if it actually is. That where what you do is you are able to watch a movie or show and be able to at key moments make decisions about the show as you go through. The guy here who's goes through this says that he watched the show Dead Like Me for many times. I believe he went through the various endings for it. He said there's up to 80 endings available for that one alone, allowing you to have multiple viewings of these shows to get all the different cool things happening there. This is the kind of thing I would kind of hoping for. The interface actually looks halfway decent at it too, where you kind of slide which way you want to go on the phone. This could be interesting. It also and also you can see what your friends have been doing, and you can see track where they are in the story. This could be an interesting thing. I don't see anything on here about what pricing or availability. I will probably be looking at this after this show tonight to see more information about it.
You want the blue pill or the red pill?
Can I have both?
Purple pill. That would be red and blue.
What happens if you take both? I want to know.
I think you
I want to break the whole system.
Yeah.
Come
on. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm even interested in that.
Oh, it's Apple only. Right
then I'm definitely not interested.
No,
okay,
man. I will have to check it out when I can. So speaking of Quibi, hey, guess what? Quibi has Chromecast support on Android and iOS. Finally. Yay.
Okay, great. But wait, Chromecast support?
Yes, this is the normal casting support. Most devices will actually support it, but
I see Android. I was like, I'm stuck on the iOS thing. Chromecast support on iOS.
Yeah, and Android.
Yeah, but yeah, okay.
So you can now watch Quibi on the big screen if you don't have an Android TV. So that's fix everything, right?
Sure.
How long did that take him? Wait, W Scott one says, yeah, that took him long enough. How long did that take exactly? I want to know.
A couple weeks.
I don't know.
I mean, it's only been out for like a month.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 months now.
It's Chromecast if you're on Android. It's AirPlay.
That's what I was getting hung up on. Because,
that's you can still send stuff to your Chromecast from an Apple phone. I know this.
I understand, but that's what I was saying. Does this require a Chromecast?
It might.
Or are they just improperly using the term Chromecast for casting to your TV? Because it would be Aircast or AirPlay or whatever for iOS.
Yeah, I think Matt's right, because they say in the article, just like the AirPlay implementation.
Yeah.
Right. I believe that, we've had the AirPlay implementation for a week or two now. But the Chromecast is kind of an open standard, and there are some things that are compliant with it. And all Android TVs are technically Chromecasts, and other things appear when you try to cast to them from a device that has that window with a cast in the corner icon. Yeah. So does it hit everything? Does it work only on Chromecast and Chromecast enabled devices? I don't know.
So
Whatever the case is,
I can't cast it to my Roku.
Well, you might. That's the thing, because that shows up in my list sometimes.
Yeah. No, Roku doesn't really care. Anything that has a cast button typically works. So
Right.
it
So
uses the
I'd be
open
curious
standard.
to see that. I'd be interested to
Sure.
see that. All right. This is a story about Play On. Play On is still around.
I know. I saw that and I was like, wait. So just to give a little bit of background real quick, back before Roku and Android TV, Google TV, any of the streaming boxes, I needed a way to be able to watch TV on my phone when I was outside of the house. And there was this thing called Play On that ran on my computer. I paid like $10 a year, I think it was, for the subscription. And it ran on my computer, and then it gave me something that on my phone I could jump in, kind of like a Sling box. And I could go to like CBS's website, and I could be like waiting in line for a roller coaster, watching the A-Team on my phone. And, this would have been like 2011, 2012, early days of smartphones. I didn't know they were still around.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. What was the? I was On Live. I'm thinking of. Oh, totally different.
No. You're thinking of On Live, yeah. No, Play On was basically like a computer version of Sling. You could watch video from the internet hosted from your home network.
Mm.
Because at the time we didn't have I think Netflix was brand new. It was still in beta. We didn't have any of the streaming services we have now. But all this content was on the internet. You just had no way of getting it to your TV or to your mobile device. Because a lot of those sites blocked mobile devices. And also, data restriction kind of stuff. But so what's Play On doing now?
So Play On is introducing a new way for you to record stuff that you play through the Android TV and using their app. It allows you to literally record stuff either to local media or to their Play On cloud service, which has a fee associated with it. So if you have enough local storage, like if you have an Android TV with an external USB stick or something like that in it, you can get a decent number of things recorded to it. Even from things that normally don't let you get recordings, like Netflix and Hulu and things like that. But if you use their cloud storage, you're going to be paying a bit for that. So that may be an expensive solution. And also the Play On's recordings are all maxed out at 720p, so you're not going to get super high resolution, but
it's good enough.
It's not bad. So yeah, it's an interesting solution. If you can play it through Play Now, you can record basically anything through this. So yes.
What are the prices? I thought I saw the prices someplace.
You have to pay by credits. If you pay the $5 per month, you get 20 credits.
Oh.
If you so one credit equal one TV episode or an entire movie. And so you actually have to pay for each thing you record. You buy additional bundles of credits for you can get $25 for 200 credits, or excuse me, that for $40.
Gotcha.
$25 for 100 credits. So yeah, you start paying a lot to store this stuff.
So just to put things in perspective, we were doing the VOD Squad when I finally canceled my Play On subscription. I wasn't using it still. It was one of those things where it was only like $10 once a year. So I completely forgot that I was even paying it for several years. So, I mean, I probably paid them like $50 total that I didn't use it. But
yeah,
I
don't know.
I was a subscriber of theirs for many years.
Yeah. I mean, back when you were, subscribing, Clyde, this was a good thing because I remember people did the Sling TV kind of thing, before. It was pretty cool. But fast forward to 2020, I don't know. I'm kind of scratching my head why anybody would want to do this.
Well,
now.
this is to give you a DVR for stuff that you may not be able to. So like you can say, "Hey, I'm into this show. Keep up with these episodes." So that you don't have to navigate into different applications and find the episode. It's just there in one menu.
It's a real cloud DVR.
Yes. Which is one thing that the TiVo Stream HD does a pretty good job at, is knowing, hey, these are the next episodes you're in that you haven't watched, and they're in a list. But it's not as nice as like a normal grid where you can flip through. This actually gives you episode information, which is the one thing I complained about. That feature on the TiVo is it just shows me the show and the episode number, and I don't know if that's the episode I want to watch because I don't remember if I finished the one before it. So, yeah, I don't know. PlayOn is a company that is constantly trying to reinvent themselves to stay relevant. So there is some sort of need that they are meeting. I just don't know if it's a very common need.
Yeah. Sure, they'll make hundreds of dollars.
Well, from one person.
Yeah, at a time.
Yep. So, yeah. All right.
That's the week's news, everybody.
That wraps up the news segment just in time for us to shut down the show. But we can't do that because we must take the time that we have set aside. It's not an option. We have to say thank you to the patrons, to the people that support this show, the people that make this possible. So if you're angry that we're here every week, the patrons are the ones that
it's their fault.
It's their fault. So you can take it out on them, and
but they'll have to go through us first.
Yep. And as I've said many times before, if people pay us enough money to not do the show, we'll go that route. But right now, people are only paying us to do the show. So those are the patrons, and you guys are awesome. We appreciate it. If you would like to help support us, that's patreon.com/the VOD Squad. Head on over there, and any number helps. All right. Should we get into some rants and some raves? All right. Who wants to go? Anybody got anything? Nothing? How'd your graduation go? Or have you done it yet?
Yeah, it happened. I am unhappy with some of with how it ended up.
But overall,
you got to see them, and they got. I messed up a bit. Is more than I wish it would. I was not as clean as I wish it was.
It's proof of concept.
It was the first year I did it alone, and I had some stuff basically off the seat of my pants, and just didn't come off as well as I know. So that was that was my Saturday, and basically bummed me out all for the rest of the weekend. So I didn't really do anything this weekend. I sat and I don't know what I did. We had family come over, and we spent some time playing board games. And
you were so bored you played games.
So bored I played games. Yep, that's right.
All right,
that's right. Yeah, so video games with my son and board games with the family. And
what board games?
So my son picked up a game he really wanted. He spent his own money on it, called the logo game, where they bring out brands and logos, and and you have to do trivia based on those type of things. And it looked really hard, and it wasn't as hard as I originally thought. So yeah.
Interesting.
That's it.
I was always good at the ones where it's just like shows you obscure car logos.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, I know all of
Yeah,
these.
like it asked me like which it showed us a bunch of car brands and said, "Hey, which one of these had the original the founding person who founded the company? His first name was Felipe." I was like, "I don't know." And it was like Chevrolet or something like that. Like, really? Felipe Chevrolet? I don't know. It's like, okay.
All right. I didn't know if you were going to say Oldsmobile, because then that would be REO, hence the REO Speedwagon.
Nice.
That was the original vehicle. It was REO Speedwagon because he's RE Olds. But yeah, the Speedwagon was a model, one of the early cars.
Very cool.
No relation to BTO, Buckman Turner Overdrive. So I don't know where that came from.
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
It's Louis. It was Louis, not him.
Oh, okay, Louis.
Louis Chevrolet.
Yeah. Don't if you're gonna name a new brand of car after your son, don't choose Edsel. Nobody wanted the Edsel.
Nobody wanted
Which
the
is
Edsel.
sad. It was a weird looking car, and I kind of like it.
I think that's why people didn't want it, because it looked too weird.
Yeah.
But I'm way off my base of knowing that stuff. So
Jimmy, what you got?
But they are collector's items now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been watching Billions still into that. Another good season, really enjoying that one. And one that popped up on Netflix, I think it popped up maybe a couple of weeks ago or something like that, is the one with Steve Carell, the Space Force.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about adding that to the list. Haven't started it yet, but I generally like his sense of humor, so kind of looking forward to that one too.
The thing that we were talking about before the show is the only reason I was able to watch through is because he doesn't play the normal Steve Carell character. I can't stand that character, and I would have been out in the first 5 minutes. So I give him credit for not playing his normal go-to character. Mm-hmm. That being said, it's not a great show. It's not a bad show either, but it's not great. Right. A lot of the people in the show are great. And as I mentioned last week, this is John Malkovich has been in basically everything in the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I would say this is probably my favorite portrayal of his. Of all of those things he's been in recently, I really liked him in this show. So
yeah. In speaking of Steve Carell, he's in that Apple TV series, The Morning Show.
Yeah,
and not a comedy at all. Doesn't play a comedic role whatsoever. Right in that one. And I think that was the first show I'd ever seen him as a serious actor. Right, and he does quite well there too. Right, as a serious actor, but he's more famous and more noted for the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and if you like him, and have Apple TV or have access to it, I'd recommend that show as well.
Interesting.
Been out there for a while.
We'll see. Might have access to Apple TV soon. We'll see if they have a Roku app, right, for Apple TV.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, they do. And if you do watch that one, it's one not for the kids, of course.
Of course not. Yeah. All right. What about you, Clyde? Anything interesting going on in your world?
So there was a movie that came out a couple years ago. I finally got around to watching it this weekend. I don't know if you've ever heard of the movie Hardcore Henry. That was that movie where they shot it completely in first person, like a first person shooter. It was one of those things I just needed something on. And I didn't pay attention to it the whole way. But one thing that became very clear, this is the movie that needed a platform named Quibi. because this is not a nonstop 90-minute movie. There are clear sections in between. I would say this is like 9-10 minute segments.
Nice.
Which, if it came out now, it would be perfect for Quibi. You know, people were asking, what would a Quibi movie look like if you chopped it together into a single movie? It would look like that. So, I think both Hardcore Henry and Quibi suffer because of the, like, 5-year difference between when they came out. If they had come out together, I think it would have been amazing.
So do you think Quibi should take this, get the rights to this movie?
I think they should. Absolutely. They could totally take this movie,
I'm watching the trailer, and it looks...
Yeah, see, and
like
that's
it
the
could be
thing.
awesome.
And that's part of the problem is that, okay, yes, it is clearly chunks, where being that it's all first person, you get no dialogue from the main character. Everything's told to you in like through speeches from other characters. Trying to sit down and watch it in just anybody that went to the theater to see this, I feel bad for you. But I could totally see this and chopped up into 10-minute segments because little portions at a time. It's great.
Well, I'm from watching the trailer. I could imagine this in the theater and taking up all my view, and all the crap that's going on the screen would absolutely overwhelm most people, and probably me. But seeing this on a small screen, that could be fun.
Or even in VR, would be cool.
God.
But again, in smaller chunks, you kind of lose interest because there isn't. I mean, other than this nonstop, movement and action, there are some parts that are clearly cut, like you get to an end of a level and then you move on. But yeah, I think it suffers in the fact trying to be a 90-minute movie. Whereas if it was 9-10 minute segments, totally bite-sized, totally Quibi. And I think it would work. So
they should totally have done that, or still do that.
Yeah, they still could. I mean, I bet most people still haven't seen it. This was a very niche movie. This is a movie that was based on a music video. If you didn't know that, it was a band in England, and the dude said, or he made a music video that this was basically the premise of first person action was the music video. And then somebody reached out to him over Facebook and said, or some movie guy was like, hey, I'll give you a bunch of money. You should make that into a movie. And he said, okay, we'll make it into a movie. And that's how it happened. Not many movies based on music video. Now, if you watch the actual music video, it was really cool. And it was something that, you would expect from just low budget, like something I could probably throw together with the cameras that I have on hand. Very low budget, low quality, all point of view. Choreography planned out very well.
Right.
But again, take that music video and stretch it out to 90 minutes.
Right.
It's just too long.
I might watch this movie. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was interesting. It's a lot like watching someone play a video game. If you can sit and watch Twitch, then you could probably...
Then you're watching us.
Yeah. If you can sit through over an hour of us, I don't know if you can still get through Hardcore Henry, because there's a lot of non-dialogue in that movie. But and also it was weird. It's weird that a lot of the info drop is towards the end of the movie.
Oh, interesting. It's just
Like
action,
the
action,
first
action.
part is just kind of, what the hell's going on? You kind of grok and put some stuff together, but yeah, they could have used a little bit more. What's the right word when
Exposition.
Exposition. They could have used a little bit more exposition up front, but
A lot of people actually wish there was less. So,
okay, yeah, I don't know. That was just my feeling. But also, again, I may have missed some stuff because I wasn't like paying attention to it. I was doing other stuff. So, but it was just keeping the dumb parts of my brain from wreaking havoc so that the smarter stuff could function. You know, it's like that's why I have content. It's basically a babysitter for the dumb side of my brain. Keep it, you know, when the adults are playing cards and you got the kids corralled in a room with TV, kind of like that. So, all right, well, I think with that we can probably wrap things up.
Yes, we can.
Agreed. All right.
Agreed.
Well, thank you guys for joining me yet again, and thank all of you out there for hanging out with us tonight. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you. But you should probably come join us live. We do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. Pretty easy to find us. And when you participate live, you get to hang out in the chat. You get to correct us, ask questions, submit titles, which we are going to vote on now. So everybody head on over to tvs.showbot.tv and submit your or vote on the title suggestions that have been submitted. We'll pick that in the post show, which you're also not getting if you're not here live. So everybody stick around for the post show. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.